This is the state of emergency still unfolding in Kauai.
This morning, as Hawaii's Kilauea volcano erupted, sending scorching molten lava flowing through neighborhood streets.
I'm born and raised on Oahu, and over the years of living here, we've had our share of natural disasters. We're the first sets of eyes and ears, essentially, for those who will be making the decisions as to what needs to get done to mitigate this natural disaster.
So when Dudek is responding to an emergency, we don't have the luxury of time to take the data back and take 2 or 3 days to process it. We need to get it back into the hands of the emergency responders as quickly as possible so they can help those in need.
Any company can get out, do an assessment of damage on a facility. The high value for our clients is actually what we do with that data afterwards.
Prior to Workspot on Azure, we were running these image processing jobs on the workstation, and these jobs could take 3, 4, 5 days to process. We were winning work faster than we could process the job, so we actually had to throttle back.
Some of the processes will fail for some reason. Before, it would take us 24 hours before we could see the result to see that it failed and then have to restart.
So now with Workspot on Azure, we were able to process the jobs that had been taking 3, 4, 5 days down to processing multiple jobs in 1 day. The technology has shifted from being the bottleneck to being the enabler, and in fact is now our competitive advantage.
For example, with Hurricane Dorian that's going on right now, we got a call yesterday to be in South Carolina on Sunday.
Mandatory evacuations now in full swing. From Florida to the Outer Banks of the Carolinas, more than 1 million people have already been ordered to leave.
So we have teams that are located all over the United States. They'll do the flight, upload the data that night, then by Monday, they'll have a full assessment of any damage that was done to the site.
Using the Azure Workspot environment, it's really interesting that I can be using a small computer, but I'm actually running 4 or 5 or 6 Workspot workstations all at the same time. And so again, you might see me sitting there at a Surface Go, think, well, that's a really small computer for what you're doing. It's not what I'm using. I'm using this entire Azure environment.
We used to have to spec out these high-end mobile workstations. Now we're able to go with a more cost-effective device, a solid piece of hardware, something like the Surface Go. We're able to be more flexible. We're able to issue this device, and that's their window into the Workspot VM.
The business has probably done a 3 to 4 time growth in the last 2 to 3 years, but the office staff has stayed the same. And the only way we're able to do that is we have one person working on 6 different Workspot workstations.
Compared to our on-prem VDI, our engineers are much more productive. They're able to just get in, get their job done, and not worry about the technology working.